something of a revolution really in fair trade over the past 12 years here in Europe. And I'm really excited to be coming now to hear from you in New Zealand about the changes that you're making to drive fair trade forward there. When we first introduced fair trade bananas into the UK, gosh, over 10 years ago now, people laughed at us. They said these will never work, people won't want to pay more for their bananas. And of course, all of us, we all love a bargain, and you think, oh, fantastic, these are bananas are cheap, I'll have some of them. But actually, the public are incredibly decent. And when they hear that those bananas are only cheap because a woman on the other side of the world is having to choose between sending her kids to school and putting a main meal on the table at night, and when they hear that these bananas here are a little bit more, but are making all the difference in the world to those women, that actually the public are so decent that they've shown that they do care and they are ready to pay that little bit more if, with the fair trade mark, they get that absolute certainty that the farmers and workers are getting a fair deal and are empowered to themselves create change in their own communities. And so we've gone from being something tiny in the UK with fair trade to today when nearly 30% of all the bananas you buy in the UK carry this cheery blue and green fair trade mark. And if you go to Switzerland, half of all the bananas are fair trade. Now I'm confident that the Kiwis too, with that innate sense of justice and fairness that I know you have, will want to be part of doing the same thing in New Zealand and taking fair trade bananas from being a very special niche to really becoming a special part of the mainstream way that you all go shopping. I think we're really just at the beginning of a very long and exciting journey. And it's really inspiring to see how the people of New Zealand have really taken fair trade and are just running with it. And we've seen how over the past years, fair trade in New Zealand has grown from coffee, and particularly driven by fantastic independent coffee shops. We're all too well aware of just how far there still is to go and how much more that you can do in New Zealand to really reach out the hand of friendship to the farmers who grow your coffee and your tea, your sugar and your chocolate, and also, of course, your bananas. I hope that more supermarkets and more companies in New Zealand will get behind fair trade, and I think they will be inspired and encouraged when they hear about how it's worked for companies and supermarkets in the UK. Because at the end of the day, if fair trade works for the farmers and workers in tackling poverty, and if it works for the customers, then it will also work for the companies. It is a win-win-win. And if I was a company, I'd be looking at this as a great opportunity to really delight my customers. And I know that the people of New Zealand will want to see the issues of unfair trade tackled. And I'd be really pleased to share with them some of the stories about the difference that they've already made and the vision of how they can help really build